Have you ever wondered what happens when you are building a home in Northern Virginia? Well, this video is going to cover the 14 weeks it takes to build a home. Now, when we say 14 weeks, some builders will do it in 18 weeks. Some custom builders will take 2 years. So this video is really going to give you an overview of what happens at different stages. We're going to call them weeks, but this time period could depend on several different factors. One of the things I notice with my clients who are building properties, sometimes they don't know exactly where we are in the building process. Hopefully this video serves as a guide through that entire process, something that you maybe bookmark during your building process and you just reference every now and then. There's another video we produced on this channel about the different types of home inspections I think would be a good companion piece to this video. It's going to tell you about the 4 different types of home inspections, and we're going to cover 3 of them in this video. Before we begin, I'm Abraham Walker with Ask A Walker, your Northern Virginia real estate agent. On this channel, we do all the research so you don't have to. When you're ready to start your real estate journey, whether that's buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate, click the link in the description to fill out your perfect home questionnaire. After you complete the form, we'll schedule a time to meet online via Zoom to answer any and all of your real estate questions. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for future videos about relocating to the Northern Virginia area. Let's dive right in. Before we move forward, there are a series of assumptions we want to clear up. First off, I assume that you are already under contract. And what that means is you've already signed the contract with the builder, you've already selected your real estate agent, you're already pre-approved for a loan, and you've already completed 2 of the selection processes, which is the structural and design selection. Now, structural selections are usually done during the contract signing phase. Structural selections include the layout, the square footage, if you're going to have a bump out, how the design of the front of the property will look. Those things are taken care of in structural designs. And that's why the builder wants you to have it done during the contract signing, so that there are no major changes. The next selection process is going to be the design selection, also known as the design center. This is when you decide paint colors, your finishing for cabinets, what type of stone you're going to have throughout the property. Most of my clients are finishing the design center phase of the process within the first 2 to 4 weeks after the contract is signed. With that out the way, let's go into week 1 of building your home. Before you see any movement on the property, your builder will secure permits. The permits will state to the county or local authority what the builder plans to do. The permitting process varies across the 6 counties that we include in Northern Virginia, but most builders that are reputable will understand the process and it won't be that challenging. One question you can ask a builder if they are not a large big box builder is if they have any experience in the county that you are working in. If they do not, then you probably want to pay close attention to the permitting process, because if you don't secure your permits, then you won't be able to start any work. Once the permits are secured, the first movement you're going to see on your property is going to be the clearing of trees, debris, and excavation. This is also known as site preparation. With the excavation process, that's where they dig up the dirt for your footers and your future foundation. Construction of the footers ensures that your house doesn't shift too significantly over time. Now we're in weeks 2 and 3. And this is when your home starts to take shape, because your foundation is going to be poured at this time. There are really 4 different types of foundations that you can find throughout Northern Virginia. There are knee wall, crawl space, slab, and basements. Basements are going to be the most common. During this 2-week time period, we're also going to see the installation of plumbing drains and electrical chases. Electrical chases allow you to move the wiring through the house very easily. The reason why this time period is 2 to 3 weeks is because the concrete needs to cure. If there is bad weather can affect the curing process, so just keep that in mind if you are on a tight deadline. Once the concrete is cured, there will be a waterproof membrane on the cured concrete. After these items are completed, this is when we see the first inspection by the county or the local government where you're building. They want to verify and confirm that the footer and foundation has been installed properly. If they catch any flaws at this time, they will let your builder know. Your builder will remedy the situation, and then the county will come back out for a re-inspection. Most builders don't like delays, so they plan on doing things right the first time. In addition to the county representative conducting their inspection of the property, we also recommend that you hire an independent home inspector for the foundation assessment. We believe that it's important for you to be proactive in assisting your builder to staying honest. You want to keep these people honest. They're not trying to take advantage of you, but if they overlook some things, they may just look the other way to get things moving. The home inspector that you hire will ensure or at least minimize the opportunity for anything being overlooked. Weeks 4 and 5 are, I would say, the game changer part of the building process for you, because this is when the framing is installed. And what I mean by framing, I'm talking about the structural framework of the property. That includes floors, walls, the roof, doorways, entryways, windows, and exterior materials. This process almost looks like a skeleton of a property, but this is when you really start to see your idea of a home come together. After the framing is completed, they will put sheathing and protective wrap for moisture and mold prevention on the exterior of the property. Weeks 6 and 7 are all about making your house more comfortable by installing plumbing, electrical wiring, and HVAC ductwork. A county inspector will come through the property to check the framing, electrical, and mechanical systems. Similar to the previous inspection done by the county, if your builder doesn't pass that inspection, then they will have to remedy the situation, call the county inspector back out to the property for another check, and then move on. This is also another time when we suggest that you do your own independent home inspection. This is actually the second most important home inspection you can do. This phase of the process is called the pre-drywall phase, or a pre-drywall inspection. In my opinion, the main difference from new construction and buying resale, which is a property someone already owns or lives in, is the pre-drywall inspection. With an existing property, you have no idea what's behind the walls. With a new home, you know what you got. You know what you purchased. Some of the items that we found during a pre-drywall inspection are warped 2x4s in the wall, improper plumbing lines, improper wiring, ductwork that was misplaced or installed in the wrong location, electrical wires or plugs that weren't installed, TV wiring that wasn't installed. There are so many things that can go wrong. Also, the builder isn't trying to do a bad job. They just have a lot of people working on these projects. You don't just have one person installing the HVAC system, the plumbing, electrical wiring, framing, all that stuff, right? It's multiple contractors coming through the property, and they all have their own agenda. They all have their own timeline. They all have their own idea of what is quality work. This is why it's important for you to hire an independent home inspector to inspect the property on your behalf. Weeks 8 and 9 is when the builders cover up the walls with insulation first and then sheetrock. Insulation is going to be one of the things that's going to be important for you to know that it was installed properly so that you could not hear your neighbors as much. There's always going to be some sound traveling through the walls, so it won't be a soundproof environment, but proper installation of insulation will help you in this regard. Another thing the builder will install during this time period is hard surface flooring like ceramic tile. You'll also see the trim work start to be installed, like the doors, baseboards, and casings. As far as exterior work is concerned, we're going to see the driveways, walkways, and patios poured at this time. If you live in a large master plan community, there will be one layer or 1 inch or so of your driveway that won't be poured until the development is finished. This is the case for a lot of my buyer clients who purchased in Potomac Shores over the last 2 or 3 years. They still have this thin layer of their driveway and sometimes their street that hasn't been poured yet that will be taken care of by the developer before they move out of the development. Okay, it's time for a quick intermission. If you've made it this far into the video, type build in the comment section to let me know you're still here. If you've built a home or you're planning on building a home, what part of the process are you most looking forward to or you most enjoyed? A lot of my clients love the design center phase because it allows them to imagine what they would like their home to look like. And then a lot of my clients don't like the design center phase because they wind up spending over their budget. Also, while you're here, please like and subscribe to this video to help me get this content to other viewers like you. Week 10 is when your home starts to take on a personality because this is when interior and exterior painting is performed. The builder will use any paint selection that you've made during the design center phase or their base coat, their builder grade product at this time. In case you were wondering, no, you will not be able to change the paint color at this time. The builder has to order the paint, make sure it's delivered in a proper time period. There's too much logistics going on for any changes to be made at this time. That's why it's very important for you to take the design center phase seriously. Week 11 is all about the final trades. This is when we install flooring like ceramic tile or any kind of hard surfaces that we don't have to be concerned about damaging easily. You'll also see your cabinets and essential fixtures go in. You'll see your countertops go in as well. This is a cool time to be in the property because like overnight, it just changes drastically. Depending on the size of the builder, they may have an individual who works for that company who comes to the property and makes the first punch list. This punch list is designed to give your builder enough time to remedy any problems before you close. Week 12 is also about flooring. This is when you'll start to see the hardwood floors that are maybe softer and can be damaged by the trades installed at this time. You'll also see your carpet come in. Carpet has some foam padding underneath it as well. So those 2 layers are also going to be installed at this time. You'll see shower doors, mirrors, and landscaping. So things that are finicky or that are easily damaged are placed in the property at this time. Another thing the builder would do at this time is order the final county inspection for structural soundness and safety. This is where your local government confirms that what was permitted and what was built are similar or the same. One thing to keep in mind, because this happened to us recently, the county inspector is inspecting for building codes. That is different from whether or not it's livable or it meets your individual unique standards. A lot of things that the county would say are livable or that meets building standard won't necessarily line up to what you thought you were purchasing. This is why you have to confirm these things throughout the process. Now we're in week 13, which is 1 week before you take possession of your property. The builder will have the home professionally cleaned and the final aspects of the landscaping performed at this time. Most builders will have you come through a new home orientation, which they'll call different names, but the purpose of this orientation is to walk you through every floor of the property, explain how every system works, verify what upgrades you purchased, make sure they're installed. They're also going to provide you with blue tape that you can tape on the walls to show what imperfections are in the property that you would like the builder to remedy in the next week. The builder can remedy almost anything in this week between the time you do this walkthrough and take possession. So don't be too concerned. I had a buyer just recently buy a condo in Chantilly, and they were very anxious about all of the items or the builder's punch list that we created through both the home inspector and their own walkthrough of the property. And I reassured them that the builder, which is a very large builder in this area, has access to so many people, so many tradesmen, that this is light work for them and we should have no problems. And sure enough, the property was delivered in great condition. My clients were happy, and now they are living in their new condo. In addition to you walking around the property, putting blue tape on everything, and also finding any imperfections, the builder is also doing the same thing because the builder doesn't want you to have a bad experience. To assist you with creating this punch list, this is when we have our most important home inspection, the final walkthrough home inspection. Now, this home inspection is most similar to a traditional home inspection because the home inspector is going to make sure all of the windows are working. They're going to check every outlet. They're going to open up the electrical panel, make sure the wiring looks okay. They're going to open up the HVAC system, make sure that system looks okay. They're going to peek in the attic, make sure you have the installation that you're supposed to. They're going to walk the exterior of the property to make sure there's no flaws in that area as well. There's so many things to look at with a completed home. I do not recommend you do this by yourself. Hire a home inspector. If you don't hire a home inspector for any of the other things I mentioned, this is when you need them most. Now we're in week 14. This is closing time. What most builders try to do is they try to have the week 14 final walkthrough. This is the final walkthrough. So the punch list was created in week 13. This is when you check the punch list. They usually have that walkthrough scheduled, let's say at 11 o'clock. And then your closing is at like 12:30. They really don't want you to have too much time to look at the property and evaluate it because they don't want you to find anything. This is also the time when they usually have you review their amazing warranties. It's by design that they have this quicker walkthrough and a conversation about the warranty at the same meeting. They want you to buy into the idea that all of these flaws that you may find now or in the future are going to be taken care of. Warranties are only as good as the warranty provider. And since you're building, I'm going to assume that you're not a warranty company, so you have to depend on someone else. This is why I stress in all of my new build videos, it's important to get a home inspection so that you can find everything up to this point, because in a few minutes, in a few hours, you're going to sign the paperwork, you're going to transfer those funds to the builder, and this process is over. Now you have to trust that the builder is going to perform. The final walkthrough is when you ensure that what you thought you were going to purchase is what you're purchasing. Okay, so before you go, just know when you complete the closing and you sign for the paperwork and you receive your keys, the first thing you want to do is go back to the property and reset the locks. Most builders use some type of locking mechanism that allows you to take the key that you receive at the closing, turn it a couple times, and reset the pins to your unique key. You do not want to just leave your home open the way it is, because the lock that's on the door can be accessed by the builder's key. And there are a number of contractors throughout the development that has that key. Do yourself a favor, secure your property. So that's it for this video. The next video I want you to watch in this series is about the 4 different types of home inspections. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.